Hello.
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 Where'd Ursula go? She's nowhere to be seen. Because she's ugly today. That's what she told me. So you can't see her pretty face.
Yes, you only get to look at art today. No ugly. Only pretty.
That's what I say about Ursula.
Exactly. I'm sleepy. Hello, Chloe. Hello, Fruit Demon. Cypress. Julie Stream. Sorry, Julie Steam. Hello, hello. Yeah, I'm just not feeling up to being on camera. So no camera today. This is why I need my VTuber model. Oh, there's dogs. Bones doesn't have to do stream today because there's only art critiques. Once again. I was alone in the back room of my store and suddenly heard hello and it's Booksy. Hello.
In the bathrooms?
Cypress is stuck in the back rooms.
It's dangerous in the back rooms. There's a monster.
It's so true. Be careful out there. You gotta no clip back into reality. It's too liminal in here. Alright, let's start. I've been stuck here for 5 years. No! I'm so sorry. At least they pay you to be in the back rooms. In your case. That is nice. Would you like to go first, Cypress, since you're here? Oh, I should say, for anyone who's new and watching, this is our monthly critique stream, where we look at artwork, we look at writing, we look at designs, comic pages, illustration work, short prose or parts of novels. We look at it all. Today is just art because we didn't get any submissions for writing, but we can also look at writing.
Bones vacation.
Bones vacation. So, if you would like to have your stuff looked at next month, you can sign up as a YouTube member or on our Patreon. We give money and in return we get roasted. Exactly. That is exactly what happens. Sure? You want to go first? Awesome. Okay. So let's start. What did you write? What did you say? Let me see. Let me see. All the characters are bad guys. No. First is Felicite, an antagonist in the story. This is a redesign of her. You've looked at her in the past. This does seem familiar. 2 images. The only difference is one shows her facial scars. Gotcha, gotcha. A general crit would be appreciated. Okay. Alright, let's look at this baddie. Right, so there's the differences. Oh, she does have scars. I couldn't see it all zoomed out. But yes, and then she has like a veil that she wears. Oh, cool. Okay. Okay, okay. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, general critique. I like the shapes going on. Everything feels very much modeled after these, like I want to call them like a bell shape. It's just the shape of like the ruffles. So she has lots of like ruffles and puffy sleeves, bows. You can see it in the shape of like her bangs and her hair. You can even see it in like the layering of the skirt. It's nice. I think it's very cohesive shape-wise. Hello, Airborne. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, so I think there's very consistent shape to everything. I like all the little details. They all work really well together. There's like frills on everything. Frills and bows and lace, and we like it. You wanted a good Friday night, but you couldn't. Is that because you went to our stream? I'm sorry. Anyways, yeah. So shapes, great. Colors, working together. I like how everything is very like antique kind of colored, which makes sense if she's got like a kind of Victorian lady vibe to her outfit and her styling. Talking about the character, I figured. I hoped. Since I won't be drawing her over and over, I wanted to make her more detailed. Yeah, that's totally fair. Because I think too, in the comic, you can probably shorthand a lot of these like details where like they don't have to be perfectly detailed every time. You could probably just like outline them, especially in like smaller panels where, you know, we're not looking, you know, where she's not the center of the panel or she's far away. You don't have to put all the details in, obviously. Okay, sorry, but colors, yeah, there's a very like antique-y feel to it. Like they're very desaturated, lots of like orangey reds, browns. And I find all the colors work really well together because I like how you've got this repeat of like the peachy orange and the kind of like dusty red in her shoes and her shirt. You've got like the white detailing throughout with the lace and the undershirt. There's good contrast between all the pieces as well. I like how everything's kind of broken up, where she's got like the peachy color in like the corset, which is then broken up between like the dusty red, the dark skirt, the lacing. Yeah, and I think there's a good spread of all the colors as well, because like there's the rule where oh, she won't be in a comic, she's in my novel. Oh shoot, I think you said that. Well, there you go. So you don't even have to worry about drawing the details. Right, but from design wise, if you quarter the character's design, it feels like she matches like on all the bits. On each quadrant, it feels very much like the same character, color wise and design wise. The only thing I will say is that I find a lot of attention goes to the dark skirt because it is like the darkest color on her. Same with like the corset, and I think it's because it's like a very bright light color versus like the dark of the skirt, where maybe you need to bring some of this like dark brown black detailing, possibly just to like the top of the character, like the face, or maybe some details around like the collar of the shirt or something. Yeah, I think that would just kind of help a little bit with balancing the color, because because the brown here is so dark, it does kind of pull attention to it. So it just needs to be evened out a little bit, because I do like how it's a little detail on her shoe. I think you just need a little bit more like up here. Oh, you're right, she does have the veil. Yeah, that balances it out quite a bit. Yes, you're so right. I forgot about the veil version. But yeah, that helps a lot with balancing it out, because then you've got this kind of like 3 repetition where it's in the face, the skirt, the shoes. Yeah, so that's great. Never mind, you got it. I can give you some vibes. as well, because I know she's a villain. But I didn't get villain when I first looked at her, but maybe that's what you want. Like, she looks very innocent to me. It might just be her expression. But yeah, but she looks very, like... The veil makes her look a bit more mysterious. But yeah. Speaking of the veil, does it match her outfit? I think it does. I think if anything, honestly, if you added a hat, like, I'm thinking like an Edwardian hat, just like a big sun hat, you could put like some frills and bows on like the cap part, like above the brim. I honestly think that would bring it together really well. But I think the veil does also work very well by itself. And obviously your character won't always be wearing a hat, so. Hold on. Sorry about that. Bones' mom came up and dropped off some food. She didn't realize we were streaming. And the dogs went crazy because she came to the door. But we're back. A doggy. Exactly. She isn't an immediate villain in the story. She is a child. So she's like a nuisance at first. Oh, okay, okay. She does look older here, to me. She looks like maybe a teenager. So is this her when she's older? Like she starts as a kid and then like comes into the story as an adult and becomes like the villain? Another surprise Bones mom appearance, yes. Yeah, she's like 16. Okay, okay, that makes sense. Gotcha, gotcha. So she starts as like annoying and then her villainy appears. Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, okay. I like it.
Your spot that they can't.
That's fair. Bones and I, because we're both autistic, we have like our spot in the living room, and he's in mine right now. Yeah, but I think she seems very like, I think it's this hand specifically, but I'm like, oh, she seems like such a press. Like she seems very, what's the word? Priss is like the bad connotation, but maybe like very like elegant, ladylike. And yeah, if she's a kid, she can probably be kind of annoying and whiny. But she also looks like she can be very elegant and poised. Yeah. Did you have any questions about her that I did not cover? I'm sorry if I've missed something. Just the interruption, like, threw me off my game. Oh no, she does the moide. Think that's good? Awesome. We can move on to the next villain. She does do a murmur. Oh no. Serena. Here, girl. Don't be bad. Oh, you're so bad. Why the doggy's gonna be acting up? Okay, second is Azarath. I love that name. An antagonist in my D&D campaign. He is Adelphi's brother. Okay, Adelphi's the last design. Works directly below the main villain in the campaign. He's the brawn in their duo. Okay, and he solves problems with a sword. He bonk first, ask questions later. And a general critique. Okay. And then the last design, which is her, is Adelphi, the sister. She's his support, heals him when he goes charging into battles without thinking. I love to hear your thoughts on these evil, no good people. I love that. These baddies. These bad babies. Buff bird murderer. No! Hey, Featherby. Welcome to the critique stream. Listen, we love a bird. It's his right as a bird. He gets to bite people. Like, they're just little pliers with wings. Okay. And a sword can bite, okay? It's fine. Okay, first off, the colors are great. I love the use of like the gold and bronze mixed with like the white and then the gray. And I like how it's like a warm gray as well. That's really fun. And there's lots of nice little details throughout. Like I love the markings on the wings. They're very like I want to say like a falcon. Obviously he's a raptor. He's a bird of prey, but I think I'm getting like falcon vibes. Maybe like, oh my god, what are they called? The little guys. Oh, what are they called? First time rendering metal, proud of it. You did really great. You have a very good use of like really desaturated darker colors so that the shine on the metal really works. That's something I struggled with a long time with like rendering metal. It was like I'd always go too light, where it's like you can't, if you're already in a light color, you can't go lighter for the shine. So yeah, I think you did a good job. Sparrowhawks. Oh, a harpy eagle. Oh, cool. No, not sparrowhawks, unless that's another word for them. What are they called? They're like the little guys. Bones. What's the little raptor that has the little teardrops? The bird.
Bird with tears.
They're little guys. One hit our window in the last one.
Oh, Kestrels.
Kestrel, thank you. Kestrel. That's true. One did hit our window because we had bird feeders, and so like if your bird feeders do really well, birds of prey show up to prey on all the birds at the bird feeder. And he bonked into our window. He got up and flew away, so I hope he was fine. He was really cute. But yeah, kestrels. They're like little guys. But yeah, harpy eagle. That makes sense, especially with the feet. They look big. All right. So, yeah, color stuff, great. I think there's very good contrast throughout the design. Where you've got some good contrast with like his light skin. You've got great contrast with the shines on the metal. Using like the gold and white and gray. Yeah, and everything is, you know, each part of him is very separated out, easy to read. The only place it's a little troublesome is probably with contrast between the gray on the wings and then the color of his like under armor. Even his armor in places gets a little too close in value. Yeah, that's the only place I'd be careful. Where they're just like, it's kind of dark on dark. I'd be a little careful, possibly lightening up his wings a bit. Because I think then if his wings are a little bit lighter, or the amount of like the gray used is pulled back, I think that'll help, because then he'll be this like darker color around the torso that's then framed by this lighter color of his wings. The black and white version was annoying trying to fix. It's hard to balance, especially when you have like gradients and textures and stuff. But yeah, I think if you just lighten up his wings a little bit, that'll really help. Then you do have to be a little careful between like his face and the wings if it gets too light. So your work's kind of cut out for you. Because you have kind of light to mid-tones with the horns and the face. So that's just something to be mindful of. But I think there's good contrast everywhere else. And great color combos. He's so cool. He look like he's gonna kill me. And I love the feathers, that gradient from the face. They're so cool. And I love the horns. Now I'm just geeking out. The feet are great. I like the way you've drawn the talons and stuff. And I like the structure of the legs as well. I do wonder, this might just be a personal thing, because the way you draw like anthros and animal people and furries and stuff, or featheries in this place, this circumstance, it can be down to preference. I'm wondering if his shins, I guess. Would that be the shin? Or is this the shin? But anyways, I'm wondering if this lower part is a little long and the tops of his legs are a little short. It is difficult because birds do have very different anatomy than like people, and it could just be a preference thing. Yeah. Maybe. It's hard to say. Also, Azaroth is like 7 feet. Oh no. He big. Is that with his wings? Or is that just like top of the head to the toes? Cause damn, he big. He big boy. But yeah, structurally everything looks great. I love the wings. The way you've drawn them, they're so like fluid. It's really cool. Not including horns. Damn. Yeah, tall boy. That sword must be huge. Dup, 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 dup. I think that's it. I love drawing wings. They're so fun, aren't they? They're so good. We love big wings. Yeah, I love the detailing on the face. That's so cool. Bird characters are my fave, but can be tedious in comics. Yeah, totally. There's a lot to draw with drawing wings and feathers. Yes. So I can go to Adelphi. Right, because these characters are like a duo. Oh, her horns are so cool. Yo. I do love the markings on their faces as well. That's very cool. It adds a lot. It's so cool. It works really well with like the texture of the feathers. Okay. So I don't think there's as much of a contrast issue, because like with his wings, like I was saying, there was like the dark and dark. I think because the underside of her wing is a light to mid-tone, and you have some good contrast, like with her hair. Her arms are a bit lighter. I think it's debatable, but you could push the contrast a little bit with like the underside of the wing and her skin, like maybe making the underside of the wing a little bit darker. And I think in turn you'd have to darken like the kind of tan color of the outer wing and her feathers. But it's very slight. I think there's less contrast issue here. Her color is very cohesive. I like the use of like the tan and the gray and then these like bold red standouts. Certain types of vultures use makeup? That's amazing. I love vultures. They're so cool. Ooh, I like the detail that she attaches her weapon to like a cuff so that she doesn't lose it. That's so cool. But yeah, lots of nice little details on like the satchels and like the weapon. I like the braiding on the rope. That's really cool. Great details on the face and in the horns. I like the feet too. They're good feet. What kind of bird is she? I'm also, because I was given this guy shit for the long bottom legs, but she also has like the very long bottom of the legs, but it feels more balanced here. I haven't looked it up in a while. That's okay. It's just for my own curiosity. Where like it works really well for her design. Yeah, let me know. I want to know. I like birds. Yeah, but I think she just feels very balanced, shape-wise. Where I think in a lot it's due to this little cape she's wearing, where it really like matches the silhouette of the top. It creates this kind of like, I guess, hourglass shape. Not quite hourglass, but you know, this like little triangle up, triangle pointed up, triangle pointed down kind of shape to her. And the long legs do help with that. Whereas maybe he feels more bottom heavy because his legs are thicker? Possibly. Where she feels very evened out, he feels, yeah, kind of bottom heavy. But yeah, great contrast, great design details, great colors. Yeah, she's really cool. It had fire in the name? Oh, interesting. Did you have any questions on this one? Or between these two? I guess I didn't ask if you had questions here. Okie dokes. Sounds good, JunkPixel. I'll leave yours to the end. Do Adelphi match the evil vibes you had for Azarath? Yeah. Like they do. You said he looks like he'd kill you? Yes, she does. She looks more... What am I thinking here? He looks more angry. But I think that works, because he's like the more aggressive one, right? But she does look like she'd kill you. She's got that like neutral, like cold face, and he's got like the angry face. Does that make sense? She looks more collected than he does. Yeah, but yeah, she definitely would kill me. Oh, I also like how they have the colored nails that match like their one of their colors. It's good. It's good. She has the brain cell between them. Bless. We love that. They're so cool. I like them. All right, we have a very wonderful array of baddies here. To me, he'd kill you quick, but she'd make you suffer. Yeah, kinda. I'm glad you like them. Awesome. Well, thank you for submitting. Who would like to go next? So we're gonna do JunkPixel's last, or when they get back. So we have Kuroe, Mouth, BattleBox, Artist Lee. I know Kuroe's here. That's accurate, Chloe. Is it Chloe? I can go? Okay. I was thinking of voluntelling you because you are here. Let's see, what did you write? First is an updated ref for Cupid. Right. Did you show this one last time? No, last time it was a different character. Second is the current logo for Forlorn Hope. And the third is the opening scene. Worried about the colorful wall. Okay. Have I seen this character before? Okay, yeah. Yeah, because last time it was Legacy Charles. It's only 5:30, but I'm going to bed soon. Good. Get some sleep. You're always up so late. All right. Right. So oh my god, I cannot say forlorn. I keep saying forlorn. Forlorn Hope is the military romance action story, right? Okay. So, dang, he's so fit. I guess he is military, but still. Right. Okay, and they have uniforms, which can be tricky with character design, especially in military where they can't really mess with their uniforms and make it personalized. I sent an old design ages ago. The one where they both claim 6 feet. Okay, he's only 5'11". Got it. Okay, okay. So he's got this like very spiky pulled back hair. He's so cute. Okay, the vibe I get from him is like he has like a gentleness to him. I don't know how else to put it. Like, he feels like he can be very stoic sometimes, but he's like a softie deep down. That's the vibe I get. And maybe he's like more serious. He doesn't tell a lot of jokes. If he does, maybe they're kind of like dad jokes, you know? Like very good natured, just kind of silly. That's the vibe I get. Yeah. His hair is interesting because from the angle from the front, it looks more smoothed down, but if you see it in other angles, it sticks up more, especially like here where he's wearing his sweater. He's secretly soft. Aww. He has this gentleness to his face. Right, and then other times he slicks it back a little bit more. And it's an interesting silhouette where I feel like you could... He's bunny! He's a bunny. I like that. Yeah, where I like how there's parts where maybe you could... where he's a bit more subdued and his hair can be like slicked down a little bit, and then when he's like, I don't know, being more energetic, it like sticks up a little bit more. I like it. I'm trying to think of like shapes. Cause like for the hair there is that like, I guess like bunny ear shape to the shape of his hair. It's kind of like leaf shapes. And again, like it's hard with the uniform. I'm wondering too, because if he does have a body shape like this, which is very like broad shoulders, little waist, very Dorito, I'm wondering if that could be portrayed a bit more even in his uniform, because like obviously like the shirt and like these fatigues and stuff, they might be a bit more like bulky. They're not gonna be like sucked into his little waist. But I'm wondering if you can show it a little bit more. Where I think it's like, you can kind of see it here in his sweater, where you see like the chest and then it kind of goes in a little bit, or it matches his physique a bit more. Where I think just the shape of the way you've drawn this shirt, it gets a lot more boxy. Where I think you could bring it in a little bit more. It might be even just like if he wore his pants a little bit higher, you could get kind of that high-waisted look, which might help accentuate his shape a little bit more. Give him more booba? Yes, exactly, exactly. Yeah, and then same here, where it's like things might be a bit baggier. But yeah, I think in this one in particular, I think his shoulders are a bit too small, and it's making his torso seem very boxy as compared to his Dorito shape. Tried to make his hair spikes the same shape as Captain's eyes. Oh, interesting. Interesting. So that's like to bring the character designs together? Where they have like the same kind of shape language going on? Because I do like that. It's nice and subtle. If that's the case. Captain's all round, like his eyes. Oh, cute. Okay, so he's got like the round eyes. And then the more pointy hair. And vice versa. Cute. I like that. Are these like the two mains? It's been a while since I've like seen these. Is he like the love interest to the captain? Yes. Aw, cute. I like it. Did you have any questions about this one? Oh my god. The captain is the 6 feet 8 inches serial killer one. Oh no. No, that's great. Okay. Oh no, what are you putting this poor boy through? Leave him alone, he's a bunny. He's a sweet man. Leave him alone. Okay. So you were looking at the logo. He's the mean one. No, he baby. Stop. I refuse to believe it. He's baby. In his heart, he's baby. She just wasn't too... She wasn't to pet the animals? Oh, wanted to pet the animals. Oh. Well, why she got a serial murder? If she just wants to pet animals, you could do just one. All right. So the logo. All right. So, if I'm recalling correctly, Forlorn Hope is like a action thriller type story. Like there's romance and some comedy, but it's very like action, and I think a lot of characters die if I'm recalling things you told me. And it's contemporary set. Romance thriller, yeah. So I think... Yeah, they go kaboom. No! Okay, so I think the vibe I'm getting from this logo is very much fantasy-ish. It's hard to say, because I do like... Because they're obviously the, they're working for, like, the British military, I think. So I do like this edition. I also like how it's like a little jellyfish. But I like the addition of like the crown. It gives it like that kind of military stamp, right? But the font... So here's where I'm torn, because the font, the way it's very like loopy, they work for my jellyfish army. I like that. Right, but this font, it's very... Yeah, it is Art Nouveau. It's very, like, loopy. It feels like something you'd put on, like, a potion shop, is how I'd maybe put it. The thing is, like... I think if it was more comedy romance... and less like kaboom action thriller, it could work, because this could work for like a shoujo kind of vibe, if that makes sense. Like I'm getting like Oron High School Host Club vibes. It's more comedy romance. Okay. I think it's missing the action is just what is getting me. Or I think you could use this font for part of it. Like if you wanted to have that balance of like like the comedy, romance, and the action. And I think it does fit well with the crown logo. But it's missing the edgy thriller vibe. Like, I'd recommend try mixing and matching. Try keeping like maybe for one of the words, like maybe for forlorn or for hope. No, maybe for hope. Cause like I need to pour blood on it. Cause maybe for hope. Cause maybe forlorn is more like a really angled, maybe like a sans serif display. Like impact, not impact. Impact is kind of basic, but I think you could find some really cool blocky, pointy looking fonts for forlorn, and then you could keep hope the way it is, with this very like curly Q font. I'd give that a try and see if you like it. Just to bring in that action thriller vibe. Now I like the second color version you have here. For one, I do like the use of like the drop shadow with the outline, the red. For one, it works really well with the crown logo. But it also just has lots of nice depth to it, which I think is really helpful for making your logo stand out. I would say with the logo itself, some of the details are getting kind of lost in here. Like, we'll try and zoom in a bit. Cause like here with the jellyfish, there's lots of nice readable detail on the crown. But I find because there's the circle behind the jellyfish, you lose that silhouette of the jellyfish. And then same with this square box around it. I think you either need to use color to like darken something, like maybe the circle at the back becomes darker. You could maybe bring in some of the red and gold in, and same with the square outline. One thing you could do is you could add colors and details to the jellyfish to make it feel like a very like royal, cool jellyfish, and then it'll really stand out against this kind of gray background. Or I'd pull away some of these shapes in the background so that the jellyfish with the crown really stands out. You can still have like a square or a circle around it, but I think you need to like get rid of the overlap or up the contrast because it's just getting kind of lost in here. Does that make sense? Yeah, okay, awesome. Because it's such a cool logo. I want to see it like really pop. Little oars. Yeah. And then it's always good to have a black and white version, but obviously you got to figure out all the details before you do that. And I like that you have a word, like a text version of your title, and then this little logo, because you can stamp that logo on anything. And it'll be really cute. I like it. Yeah. Bring me. I finished cooking. Gonna have this run while I do other stuff. Aw, you're so nice, Oris. Thank you. I hope you enjoy your food. Did you have any questions about this, Chloe? Was there anything you were wondering about? Nope. Okay. Easy peasy. Alright, so we have this opening panel. And you said you were worried about the wall. Is it that it's like very bright? Okay, what's going on here? Let me close in a little bit. Okay, so it looks like we're in a prison. We got people in some orange jumpsuits. That screams prison to me. Looks like we've got a newbie. And we got some guards. And they're in the arts and crafts room. Oh, okay, okay. I do love the design on the walls. That's really cool. It creates like a very interesting setting. Glad I remembered to do logo work before it's all finished. Hell yeah. It's the Princette announcing the opening of the new room. Oh, cool. Gotcha, gotcha. I see, I see. Okay, so the Princette is coming to announce this, and the people are here watching. Gotcha, gotcha. Okay, so first off, I really like the composition of the panel. The top-down look, having the lines converge around the Princette. I think that really works to bring focus, and you can still look around the room and see what's going on. I like how there's space here too. It feels like this spot right here would be a really good place to put text. If there's like a speech bubble or caption or something. Yeah, and then I can see the colorful walls stealing focus, where maybe you want... it's hard to say, because if the point of the scene is for the Princette to like announce and talk about the room, and it's like a really important set piece, I can see keeping it this vibrant. The other option is to take it and tone it down a little bit. Like, I think you could still keep like the line work. I think it's just taking the colors and like desaturating them a little bit or lightening them up. I don't know. I kind of like how dark they are. They do help like make everything else pop, because everything's kind of like white and beige. But so maybe keep them dark, but maybe desaturate a little bit and keep the characters really bright, so your focus goes to like the orange and like the pink of the Princette. It's the first panel of the comic. It's to show where they are. Gotcha, gotcha. I think it can work. It might have to be toned down in other panels depending on their purpose, but I don't think it's wrong to have like a really bright room. Was there something else you wrote? Opening scene of Forlorn Hope. I'm worried about the colorful wall. Was there something about the wall you were worried about? Like it being distracting? You can't see the characters well? Yeah, that is the one worry. The Princette especially gets kind of swallowed up by it. Are you adding any shading into this, or is it going to be like flat colors? Because that could help. Koba is invisible. Not that I mind him being gone. Is that this guy back here? Yeah. Thinking cell shading? Okay. Because you could use shadow to kind of help the character stand out, because if Koba here had like a lot of blush and shinies, hell yeah. because if there's a shadow behind Koba, that could help him stand out against the wall. Same with these characters. And if you play around with like some highlights or maybe some like soft brushing. Are they in a prison I just left for dinner break? I think so. I think they're in a prison. And they're announcing like an arts and crafts room that's just opened. But you could use like maybe a soft shade behind them. Do you know what I mean? To like lighten it up behind them, where it could still be transparent, so you could still see the mural behind them. But it could bring the characters forward a little bit. So if say imagine there's just like light shining on them, like maybe you can't see it from here, but maybe there's a light kind of shining on them. And even if it doesn't quite work for the setting, if it helps with composition, I say weird lighting is fine. Like non-diegetic lighting, just to help with the scene totally works. Where maybe you could put a bit of highlight behind them so that they pop out as like the darker shape, and the section of mural behind them gets kind of faded out. And yeah, having shadows under the characters would probably help to make them distinct. Other than that, light coming in from window acting like a spotlight. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Time to commit crimes. Oh no. Begin to crime. Yeah, so that would probably help. Because the characters in the orange against the white and beige and gray and stuff, they really stand out well. And then your other option is maybe making the line work of the mural desaturated or lighter, and then same with the colors. But obviously, you know, if this is a set piece you really don't want to part with on the colors, then the shading and stuff would probably help. Yeah. Is there anything else that would help? Yeah, I think it's just like a balancing the colors kind of thing. It's just a contrast thing you have to play around with. There's only so much effect you can put on it. Thank you, no problem. Was there anything else with this one? Because other than that, I think you just have to mess around with the colors and the shading. Because yeah, these characters do get kind of swallowed up by it. So that's the captain taking a snooze. She's got her dogs out. My goodness. Nothing. I'm willing to change. I'm redrawing none of that? Hell yeah. Don't redraw it. Just do some color shifting. Because compositionally, it's really great. It's just a contrast issue. All right. So, look how tiny everyone looks. I know, they're small. Okay, if you have any questions, let me know. It's a great angle. It's a good way to show like all the characters together and to establish the setting. Okay, who would like to go next? Because I'm putting off JunkPixels until they show up. But we have Artist Lee, BattleBoxCat, and MouthMan. Are any of you here? If you would like to go next, speak now. or forever hold your peas and carrots. Okay, I think no one's here. So, I'm gonna go to MouthMan's. Let's go down the line. Alright. Any critique for these? I do want advice on the color. Artist Lee said they won't make the stream. Oh, okay. Okay, so I'll just go down the line unless BattleBox shows up. Or Mouth. Well, Mouth is going now. Yeah. Okay, so I do want advice on the color. I'm afraid the werewolf one is too close in value. I know the vampire one has issues with that too, and I'm trying to refine the werewolf one the most. Gotcha. I was thinking that when I was looking at it, that the werewolf... I freaking love these. They're so cool. I love this idea. They're so fun. Yeah, I think the value issue is there. I think you have some competing elements going on. So it's mainly like the pants with the tail hole is competing a lot with your hero image up here. Now I think you have some good balance in your colors. So I like how you're using this very like dark blue to really like make things pop and highlight them. And I like this soft yellow behind it. It's good contrast with the blue. And it's light enough where it contrasts really well value-wise with the blue. And I think overall, everything is very readable. Hello, Wim. Yeah, everything's very legible. Like, there's good contrast. It's the moon. Oh, that's true. We love the moon. Right, but everything's very legible. There's pretty good contrast between everything, and I think it's very readable. The only issue is that I think it's like a sizing issue where you have these let's look at the jeans here. You've got these very dark colors at a very large size. So when you're looking at contrast, something that is very dark compared to the colors around it, or something that is very light compared to the colors around it, they will draw attention because they're high contrast. So in this instance, the darkest color is coming from the vest, the shirt of your hero werewolf. It's very like dark and saturated on the shirt, and then on the pants, it's the same. It's even a little bit more saturated. There's a bit more like bluey purple in there. And then you see it again here on the pants of the werewolf down here, but it is very much near the bottom, and it's small that it's pretty negligible attention-wise. So the issue you might be running into is I think these pants are taking up the most space and calling attention because they're so dark. And it's almost the sum of like this section here is almost the same size as like this section up here. So they're kind of competing for your attention. In fact, I find I go to the jeans more just because they're a bit darker, more saturated. And I think it's creating a bit of a issue with where your attention should go. Now, I think there's some placement issues, and I feel bad because I know I looked at this last critique, but I think it was in black and white, possibly. Let me double check. Yeah, it was in black and white. But seeing it with color kind of changes the vibes. Cleaning my room, so I'm doing it with you now. Good, you gotta get clean. Oh wait, am I missing context here? No. Okay. Ba, 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 ba. Right, but I think having the color put in, it changes how the contrast and where my attention is going. I think it changes that. I'm creating my room too. You're creating a whole room? Damn. Sorry, that was mean. You're cleaning. That is good. You gotta clean your rooms. Right, so the color is bringing in a new dimension, and it's stealing attention here and there. So I think kind of what's happening is I would take this whole bottom section and I would shrink it. I would make it a lot smaller. Autocorrect. Autocorrect is a devil. But basically what's happening, so I love the hero section. If anything, you could maybe like move it over to the right a little bit. Yeah, the right. Sorry, I'm getting my directions mixed up. Because it's a little bit close here on the left, where I think the lettering could have a bit more padding. And you could just kind of move this car a little bit out of the way, because you still get the idea of that he's leaning against a car. So yeah, the only thing I would change about this hero is just shift it over to the right a smidge. But this bottom section, a lot of the detail is pushed really close to the bottom. Where it becomes easy to like disregard because it's so close to the edges. Whereas if it had a bit more white space, a bit more margin around it, I think it would help with taking it all in. And bringing your eye around the page a little bit more. So I would grab all of this. So Comfortable Tales, the other brands, Western Wear, Shop Now, Built to Withstand, all these assets, and shrink them down so that there's more white space padding around them. And then they're not competing so much with the hero, because right now the hero image is very close in size to like the bottom of the page. And because the bottom stuff at the bottom of the page is pushed so close to the edge, it just feels unbalanced. There's not enough room to look at them. And where I'm seeing it the most is that the other brands, because you've got this yellow highlight around it and there's some white space like around this werewolf, it's creating almost like a spotlight effect. And I'm not just saying that because there's like a yellow circle on it, but because you have that white space that lets it breathe, it stands out more. Whereas like in this particular advertisement, you'd probably want the Western Wear brand to stand out more and highlight it more than the other brand's one. So I would make the other brand's one like smaller, even more small. But again, having more breathing room around the tail holes and the Western Wear transformation. Like having more room around there will really spotlight them. And I think color-wise... Oh, and I went on that big rant about like the darkness of the color. I'd lighten up the pants a little bit. It might help when they're smaller, because then they're not competing size-wise. But I may make them a little bit more pale in comparison. It's hard, because I know like you're coding the Western Wear with like darker colors. So you might need to lighten up the other brands, like lighten up their colors a little bit. Because I think that'll help you differentiate them and help with the contrast issue. And then the other thing, color-wise, is I would make this red a bit more saturated. It's very dark. Red itself is a very dark color, like in the spectrum of light. red is very dark. But I'm finding, because you've got this red that's kind of like, it's not necessarily desaturated. The shop now looks a little desaturated compared to the other ones, but that might just be my screen. But yeah, but it's just so dark. Like, I get what you're doing, because you don't want it so light that it's like attention grabbing, but it's too close to the blue. They're both very dark. I think the red would pop more if it was a little bit lighter. Like, keep it saturated. Because when you desaturate red, it gets darker, I find. But, well, it's kind of an illusion of it being darker. But anyways, I'd lighten it, maybe keep it saturated so it still pops. But yeah, but I think that would help with the red standing out, because you're using it to very nice effect with like bringing attention to the words you want to stand out. There are more of us. Oh my gosh, you're all gleaning. That's so powerful. Yeah, but yeah, I think the red needs to be lightened up a little bit to help it stand out. I think you need more breathing room around these bottom objects. I think you need to shrink down the other brand transformation thing, because it's still great. It's still a great little like showcase. I think it's just stealing too much attention, whereas like the star of the show should be the Western wear. Yeah, and then playing around with the values of this bottom stuff. Yeah, because this top bit is your hero. These are your supporting bits. You want your hero to really steal the attention. And then after that, you probably want like the shop now, the call to action to stand out. Yeah, so that's all I got on that, Mouse. Let me know if you have questions. And then for this one, I think it's really fun. I like the little medical diagramness to it. I think it's really cute and clever. I also like the little the little like cross signs that are, you know, supposed to look like a hospital, like a health cross thing. How they're actually like little upside down crucifixes. That's cute. That's cute little vampire stuff. So I think this one is very well balanced. I like how your composition is like cut down the middle, and you have things surrounding like the vampire diagram. That creates, sorry, so I like how it's balanced down the middle, but it's like off balance on either side. That creates like an interesting visual to the composition. The one thing I will say is I think the top is a bit empty. So the title recently turned What to Know After Being Bitten by a Vampire. So that's like your title and your subtitle. I think they're too small. I don't think they need to be centered. Well, they could. That could look interesting, because then it's your vampire diagram and your title and subtitle are then centered down the middle. But you don't have to. I think you can have this, like, keeping it off to the left can work. But I'd have it overlap down the center line, because it's creating just, like, a empty space right here in the top right. That could be used by the title or other info. I also think for your title recently turned, it might help if it's a bit bigger, but the text you're using is very thin, and it works well for your subtitles and your little sections throughout, but it gets kind of lost up here as your main title. Whereas I think if you use something a bit more bold, that would really help. If there's like a bold version of this font, or maybe something that feels like a good match that's like a little bit thicker, I think that would really help keep it, make sure it stands out, so that when someone looks at this poster, they know the thesis of it. They know what they're looking at. And then I would, again, I think you need a bit more breathing room at the edges of your design. So I think you could take all this, like the vampire, the little sections from the diagram. I think you could take it all and just shrink it a little bit so that there's some nice breathing room around. And then contrast wise, there's a lot of great contrast between the vampire and the background and all these elements and the background. I like how light the background is compared to these elements in the foreground. And the green of the vampire really pops against all the red. That's a really great choice. The only thing I would say is that with each item in these like circles and squares and stuff, oh, pardon me. I would say that there needs to be more contrast between the red circle background and the foreground items. So, if you want to keep this very like dark, saturated red, I think you really need to lighten the tones on these items. They're very close, they need to be lightened up more. Or you can switch it, where the items themselves are very like dark and saturated and the background is more like made more desaturated and light. But I wouldn't do that because the background is so light. I'd want to keep this like red dark because it pops against the background really well. But there's just a contrast issue with the items in each bubble. And I do like how all the bubbles are like, it's supposed to be like droplets of blood. I like how there's little shines on them. That's cute. Yeah, so I would change some of the spacing. I think the title needs to be a bit bigger, needs to cross this like center point. Yeah, more breathing room, and then some little contrast issues in each of the icons. But other than that, it looks really great. And these are really fun pieces. I like what you've done. So Mouth, let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer. Yeah. Whoop. So let's go to BattleBox. What did they say? Please critique this design. I'm mainly wanting to know if the outfit is eye-catching and the colors are evenly distributed, as well as the balance between symmetrical and asymmetrical. Okay. So the asymmetry works, but the colors and stuff are still balanced. Okay. I wanted to come up with a more modern outfit for my D&D character. Her name is Renfei. She's easy to rile up and values her fellow crew members. And captain. She's a pirate. And she has fire magic. Her design is inspired by the phoenix. She also has wings, but I didn't draw them for lack of space on the canvas. Gotcha. Okay. She's really cute, for one. Okay. I really like the cutouts on her legs. Like, that is so fun. I love the little flame cutouts on her pants here. That really stands out the most. I'd honestly love to see it elsewhere on her design. It's hard because because she has bare arms and then she has these like wraps on them. Where it's just such a cool design choice. I'd like to see it more. Because I like how you mentioned how you have like this asymmetricalness to her, which I can totally see. Because like even on her arms, like her left arm, I guess it'd be her right arm, but anyways, on the left, she's got like the wrap down the full arm, and then she only has it on the upper arm. On the other side, she's got like the with the vest she's wearing, part of it's like open and pulled back, the other one's just hanging down. She's got like the pouch on one side. She's got like the fishnet and the asymmetrical like cutouts and lacing. It's really fun. Is this part of the jacket? This little like flame bit? I think it is. But that's so cool. I want that in her upper half. Because I'd love to see more of that on the upper part. Because color-wise, I think it's very well balanced. Because she's got like the black outfit. She's got like the little highlights of like the red and fire and orange. And it's very consistent. I like how like at her collar, she's got like the, it's almost like the inside of the vest has this like orangey flame color. And you can see it on like the hem here, you see it on the inside, you see it on the collar. And then she's got like the little wings on her tie. And then you've got the white highlights from like the bandages, the tie. There's some little highlights on her boots, the little buckles with silver and stuff. Yeah. I think that's pretty well balanced. I was gonna say maybe you need more of the white throughout, but I think because she is very light-skinned, I think having the cutouts on her legs balances the white. If that makes sense. You could maybe bring in a bit more of like a white element, because like with the wraps on her arms and the tie, it is a lot of white up here and not very much down here. So that could be maybe adding a wrap under her clothes, so you have some more of that white. Or maybe some more white on the boots kind of thing. Maybe some pirate frills. That is true. You could have pirate frills. We love a pirate frill. You could also make her little bag here white. It might... Well, no, I was going to say it might stand out too much, but I don't think that's a bad thing. Because her tie stands out really well against like the dark outfit. I think it would work with the pouch as well. And then you'd have the white throughout. But yeah, great colors. I love her hair. I love how it makes little wings in her bangs. Yeah, and I love how there's so much movement in her hair as well. That's really fun. Yeah, I just want more of that cutout. They're just so cool. With the little red framing around it. Let me think. The green eye works really well. It's a good contrast with the red. You could also bring green in more. I don't know if you need to. I think it's fine. It depends on the design. Sometimes I give people... I'm like, oh, you know, if you use like... You know, if you give your character green eyes, bring green throughout the rest of the design. It's not always necessary, because this character has a lot of detail to her. So daubing in some like green bits might be a bit too much. Whereas like it brings a lot of attention to her face. Whereas like the rest of her is very detailed and can kind of steal the show a little bit. So I don't think it's wrong to have like just this nice contrast pop in her eyes. Oh. I thought a dog was eating something. Oh. He's born snacking. It just the way the sound was echoing, it sounded like back there. The way the sound was echoing, it sounded like back there. That's all. But yeah, definitely give her some pirate frills. Was that all you said? You just wanted general critique? I think that was it. Okay. The outfit is eye-catching, colors are evenly distributed, and the balance between symmetry and asymmetry. I say lean into the asymmetry. It's a really cool design choice. Yeah, and I'd be curious to see the wings as well. It sounds so cool. Hi, JunkPixel! Right, it's such a fun design. JunkPixel, would you like to go right now? You guys have a Discord channel? We do. If you join our Discord, well, for one, there's lots of lovely people to chat with. But if you join our Patreon or YouTube members, you get private little secret Discord channels. And also you can submit yourself to the critique stream. So there's that. Alright, JunkPixel. Oh, BattleBox, if you have questions, please let me know. JunkPixel, what did you say? Oh right, you had your notes. Let me grab those real quick. Okay, so I can show all the pages. That's great. So for feedback, you're looking at coloring, cohesiveness with color, character design, aside from Tempest, whose outfit will be changing. And last time I mentioned your background, so I played around now. Color them differently. I also have made significant changes to my saturation and use of overlays. I wouldn't mind any tips on angles and perspective. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Yeah. Okay. So, I do find the lighting in your backgrounds is very nice. I think you've like it's some subtle detail to it, but I did because you showed your original page 1 in your notes document. So I find it's just like little details that you've added in. You've added like a little bit of like highlight with some gradients. You've added like some little details of like where the light is hitting, where it just creates a lot more depth. I think in part it's that like the saturation you've been adding and your use of overlay stuff, where I think you're just giving a better sense of like depth to everything. And I think it's also helping your character stand out pretty well against the backgrounds. Though I don't know if that was a problem last time. But anyways, yeah, I think you just do a good job with your colors for your backgrounds. I find part of it is like the shading changes you've made. I like how there's some like kind of subtle transitions between like shadows and midtones and lights and stuff. That kind of soften things up a little bit, and there's nice little detail work. But I also find the color choices you're making help your character stand out. Because even though you have some different colors going on in the background, like especially if you look at the shop, where you've got like items on the shelves, you've got floors and desks and all this stuff. But the colors are close enough in value and like hue, like the color choice itself, where it feels like together as a background, if that makes sense. They feel like like there's differences, you can tell things apart, but it's the color choice is cohesive so that it all feels like the same thing. And then your characters are able to stand out because they can be a bit brighter. In the shot, for example. Like obviously, you don't always have to have bright characters on a dark background. That's what I was aiming for. You did a great job. I think your color choice works really, really well. Yeah, because like for here where you've got this establishing shot of this building, the character is darker in the foreground, the background's a bit lighter. It's just good effect. It's good. It's good, we like it. So yeah, I think your color choices are there. Hum. I also like how it's obviously not everywhere because it's not necessary everywhere, but I do like how you use your lighting to kind of spotlight and frame your characters. So like for example, where we have Tempest, is that their name? Here, where even though there's lots of like shadow and stuff going on, I like how you've got like a little bit of a spotlight on them. I like how you've got this kind of like cut out bit of light cast on them. Where it's subtle, it doesn't feel like, oh, there's a spotlight on this character, but it feels like they're highlighted well with the lighting. And then, yeah, and then just little bits here and there. Like when this character comes out of the door and they're highlighted by the light in the door. I don't know. You're just good at choosing where to light things, I think. Add jump scare. Oh no! I'm sorry. I'll wait. I'll wait till you're back. All good. Okay. I'm sorry. YouTube. Serving ads. Okay. So yeah, I think you're just good with how you choose your lighting and how you highlight things with your lighting. I think it works really, really well. And then what was the other thing? What else did you write? Because you're looking at color, cohesiveness. I think you got that. Character design, backgrounds, and then angles and perspective. Okay. So, overall, color stuff, really, really great. But I won't keep going on about it. Angles and perspective. So, I think you have a very good handle on like what to highlight in your frames, like in your compositions of each panel. I think there's a couple little like minor angle issues. The only one I'm really seeing is this last panel where the perspective on the door feels like we're a bit too high up as compared to the perspective on the characters and the rest of the building. Are you okay?
Stop my toe.
No! I'm stubbed his toe on my chair. I'm sorry. Oh, that door messed me up. It's difficult. I get you. But yeah, currently you have your camera tilted too high up on the door where it's more straight on with the characters. Because I think like the edge of your door would maybe like this edge here, if you know what I mean, the little corner, it would probably be like up here. Like still below the top of the door frame, because we are seeing from above a little bit, but not this far down. It takes just practice, I think. It's hard to judge sometimes. But I think just what's happening is you have your horizon lines are different. So yeah, because I think for your characters, your horizon line is probably at Eden. Is that their name? The pink-haired character? Right at Eden's face. Whereas for the door, the horizon line is like way up here. So as long as you set your horizon line and then stick to it for everything, that should work. It's difficult though. It takes practice. I still struggle. I'm constantly laying down perspective lines and then having to redo them. Yeah. But otherwise, I think you've got a pretty good handle on like angles and scenes and where to put your camera and stuff. The only other thing I noticed, and this is like a framing thing, where you set up that there's the crash, where it looks like, if I'm not wrong, this person has like the bottom of their rucksack has like dropped out. And all the stuff fell and that's what the crash was. But it's not ever framed, if that makes sense. It's kind of off to the side, where we hear the crash, we have the character reaction, both of them, and then we're looking at them and everything's on the floor. But I think because it's so far off to the edge, the first time I read through, I was like, what was the crash? And then I went back and I was like, oh, the stuff fell. So I think you just need to like... Right, because the two panels revealing that information are this one, where the junk that fell is like... Yeah, it's very pushed off into the corner. And then same with here, where we're getting a better look at Jasper, where like the stuff is still off to the side. Where I think either if this was like pulled in a little bit more, so there was more room to see what's happening here, or you had another panel where you just see the stuff falling out of the backpack. I wouldn't worry about it because you said these are all posted. It would just be something for the future to think about when you're because obviously I was able to reread and figure out what happened. But for future scenes where you just need that little extra like confirmation of what has happened, if that makes sense. In this case, it would just be an extra panel showing like, oh no, the stuff fell. That was what the crash was. Yeah. Right, and then character designs. So I do like all the designs. They're all very unique. I love the fox girl. She's cute. Yeah, there's good differentiation using the colors. Because I like Tempest is very like kind of green and black and white. I think there's some teal, but their clothing is covering it up. And then the fox lady is very like orange. We've got Jasper here, who is very like gold orangey toned. And then Eden, who's very like pinky purple. I'm a sucker for color coding characters. It's fun. It's good. But yeah, so the characters are easy to differentiate due to their colors. And it's not just that you have them color coded, I should say. You still have good contrast between like the colors chosen. Like there's different skin tones, there's just different hair colors. I am noticing that they all seem to have very, like, fluffy curly hair. And it could just be the selection of characters. But... And it is hard, because like, it looks like Jasper here is, like, kind of like a ram or a sheep. Where, like, you know, they would have the fluffy hair. But I think that's just something to keep in mind, like possibly mixing up the hair texture or the hair shape might help a little bit with differentiating characters. But it's not like I'm having trouble telling characters apart by any means. I think they all have unique designs to set them apart. Unique colors, unique designs, and shapes. Hum. Symptom of my internet upbringing with the fluffy hair, to be honest. Fair. So fair. Yeah, I tend to draw fluffy hair on a lot of characters. I really like ringlets and stuff. Yeah. Was there anything else with the character design? Like, was there something specific you wanted to know about it? With any, like, specific design or just general design stuff? Also, I love Eden's color. I'm a sucker for a pink and purple color scheme. I don't think so. I'll do more highlights on outfits and stuff in upcoming scenes. Yeah. Totally. It is hard because so far you've done like very like low lit scenes, like it's all at night kind of stuff. It'll be cool to see it all in the daylight kind of thing, you know? In bright lights. Yeah. Okay, was there any other questions on this? On your submission? Next will be easier to see. Drawing at night is so hard. That sounds funny, like you're drawing at night. No, drawing night scenes is difficult. But I will say too, though, you got the colors down. Like, cause yeah, night scenes are difficult to make them like visible, but also have people understand that it's a night. So I think you did that really well. That's all. Thank you. No problem. Thank you for submitting. All right. Finally, we have Artist Lee, who said they wouldn't be here. Okay. Characters are all for an elemental story. So there's characters that have elemental powers, and there are some that do not. Okay. First thing is a lineup. I just want to know the overall... Sorry. I want to know if overall the characters look good next to one another. If there's anything weird proportion-wise next to one another. Okay, so just kind of how they all line up. And if the older characters look close to their age or not. I have trouble figuring out how to have older characters look their age. Listen, I have trouble with younger characters looking their age. I always draw people looking too old. Okay, and the second one is a more in-depth critique on the design and character sheet. Gotcha. Okay. So... all of these characters together. I do quickly need to run to the bathroom. So, hold on one moment. I'll be right back. I'm back. I'm jump scaring you. Probably. Oh no, you left early. That's okay. Hi, Genevieve. Welcome. Alright, so. Before I stepped away, we were looking at a character lineup. Okay, so. For these characters. Okay. Proportion-wise, how do they all stand up to each other? I think overall, even though you're using like different body types and heights, I think everyone is pretty proportionally there together. And also like great work with like all the different variety of character shapes. Part of it is like you're doing a good job with like all the different silhouettes of like their clothing shape, but also like their body shape. It's great. I think you've done a really good job with having very like unique, distinct characters, but they all feel like they fit together. The only one who I think Bellamy. Oh, it might just be an illusion of like their bangs, but they seem a little. Their head seems a little large, but it could just be an illusion of like the bangs being long. Yeah, I think it's just an illusion. I think it's being created because he has black hair. And wearing like a black turtleneck underneath. Where there's like from far away, it just I don't know, there's something about it that just makes like the face look larger. But I think everything's in proportion, actually. Yeah, and I think even though your characters all have very, like, distinct color, and they each have, like, their own kind of unique color set, it's all very, like, close in harmony, if that makes sense. Like, they're all kind of close in tone, even if you have some very, like, wildly different colors going on. It's not like one character feels like they don't belong in the lineup color-wise. Can I also say that I love Ilaria? Like, I wish I had that fit as a 14-year-old. Gosh, I love their design. So cute. Okay. Alright, and then characters who are older, do they look their age? Okay, so it looks like we've got the teenagers here. Who I think all look like teens. Yeah, I think so. I think they all look young. Teenagers. Okay, and then we have Everett, Ray, Bellamy, Castella, and Haywood. So Ray looks young to me, but like, I know a lot of 30-year-olds who like dress like this and look like this, so I think it's just the style Ray has is very young looking, very like teenager-ish. And then they don't have like, because if you look at Castella, what does make Castella look older? I think part of it is the styling, like the color, not color, clothing choices, that feel a bit older, where Ray has like a bit of a younger kind of vibe. I'm wondering how you would make them look older. Because it's not like, because like 30-year-olds do look older than like 14-year-olds, 14, 15-year-olds. But they don't look old. Because, like, at 30, I definitely have more... Like, I don't have wrinkles. But I don't look as fresh a face as I did when I was, like, 15. That's tricky. It could come down to how they act, too. And it looks like Ray is a bit of, like, a smaller person. Like, they're a bit shorter. And there are teenagers who are taller than 30-year-olds. That's tough. I do find with Everett looks older. I think part of it is the facial hair. Facial hair tends to, like, age up characters. Bellamy. It might be the expression, but I think it also makes Bellamy look younger. Where I'm not sure if I get teenager vibes, but I don't know if I get 45-year-old vibes. I think when the character is hitting, like, their 40s and kind of late 30s, that's when, like, kind of wrinkles and, like, white hair starts to come in. Part of it is, like, outfit styling. Obviously, like, people from different generations will dress differently, but that's not, like, exclusive to, like, each generation. Obviously, someone who's older can dress younger. Someone who's younger can dress older. Yeah, it might help with Bellamy. He does have a bit of, like, a wider jaw. That helps Everett, too, having, like, a bit of, like, a more... like, a bigger jaw. Like, more... Instead of having, like, a pointed chin, having, like, a more broad chin. Because a more kind of, like, chiseled kind of face does make a character look older. Haywood does look older. I think part of it is that they look very tired, which kind of adds to, like, looking a bit older. Because Castea looks older, I think, just because of the clothing choices, like having the pulled back hair in a bun, the hoop earrings, the makeup, the pearls. Like, it just says, like, older lady to me. And Haywood... Yeah, I think maybe for Haywood you maybe need to introduce, like, a bit more, like, creases around, like, the eyes or the forehead, maybe some white hair. It is hard. It is difficult. I hope any of this is helpful. I think it's hard to choose within your own style. You have to, like, figure out how to show age within your own stylization. But I think you just need to add some more kind of age signifiers. So that could be, like... That could be wrinkles, that could be, like, white and gray hairs, that could be the way they dress, the way they style themselves. I do know as you get older, you know, your skin isn't as, like, elasticy as it used to be. That's kind of why wrinkles come in, but it can mean, like, like, I find with younger people, like, you know how they talk about, like, how kids have, like, baby fat and stuff? Not quite baby fat, because, like, after a while, like, especially as, like, a 20-year-old, as, like, a teenager, you might not have that, but, yeah, I think you just need to distinguish in your own style, like, what that looks like. Because it doesn't necessarily mean that older people have, like, you know, jowls or whatever. But there's more signs of aging in their skin, or in the shape of their face. I think in stylized stuff like what you have or what I would do, it is more difficult because you tend to pull away details the more stylized you go. Where sometimes it can mean changing like the face shape that you would use. So maybe like as someone gets older, their face maybe gets like, you use less round shapes, they get a bit more like jagged or chiseled or squared off, if that makes sense. And you can add in more lines and things like that. I wonder if you could take these characters. This would just be like a little training exercise, I guess. Take your character and draw them through the ages. So take like, say, Bellamy or something and draw them as like a kid and then a teenager and then a 25-year-old and then, you know, up and up. And then how do they look like as an old person? Just to see if like you can really push those differences between the characters. That way, yeah, you can maybe kind of figure out like, how do I signify an elderly character? How do I signify a young character? And obviously looking at real references of people at different ages is very helpful. Because obviously with a very stylized style, you're not going to have it look exactly true to life. And you're also using things like, you know, fantasy clothing and anime hair or whatever. You know, that isn't true to life, but you can still pull from life to kind of inspire your work and kind of pull what works for you. Anyways, I'm rambling. Hopefully that was helpful. Okay, so we have Case, who's one of the characters. He's an ice elemental. Okay, so a more in-depth critique on the design character sheet. And the vibes. Okay. With Case, he feels like a little soft sweetie. He's a sweet soft boy. He is gentle. He is shy. He is friendly and sweet. That's the vibe I get. I love the puffy hoodie / coat. It's really cute. It gives him, he looks like a cloud. You know, that's the vibe I get. He looks like a soft little cloud. And I like the mix between like the diamond shape in his design, where you've clearly got like the diamond motif for like the ice on like the headphones, on the ring, with the patches on the hoodie. I really like that a lot. But I like how the character himself is shaped in a very like fluffy, rounded kind of way. There's still a little bit of that triangle, especially in like the hoodie. Not triangle. Well, I guess it is kind of triangle. Because you have the diamond shape. You have some more kind of like not full triangle in like the hoodie. It's also kind of square but rounded. You got some more triangles in the jeans, and then the face and the hair is very rounded. I'm wondering if you could I think maybe you could push some of the shape a little bit. Because you've got the moon shape. These kind of like fluffy crescent moon shapes in the hair. You've got the diamonds, and then you've got these rounded square bits. I'm wondering if you could pull more of the crescent moon throughout. Because it's really just in the hair for him. Because yeah, I like the diamond as like a surface motif, and then the shape, I feel like more roundness could be brought in, like to make it more like the hair. it might mean you need to like take some of these shapes and like build them out of these crescent moons, kind of like how you have like the little curls in the hair and each one is like its own little crescent moon shape. It might be like this is just an example. You obviously you don't have to use it if you don't want to, but you could take the sleeve and maybe put in like maybe a little cinched in bits, but it looks like two kind of round circles. I'm not sure if I like that. I like the fluffiness of the coat. Oh, it's hard. But I think the crescent moon shape needs to be brought in more. And I don't really know how to bring it in to fit it with the character, but I think you need to bring that in a bit more somehow. Because yeah, I definitely get the diamond shape throughout and some triangularness, but I think that crescent moon circle-y shape is missing. It needs to be brought into the shape a bit more. Color-wise, I think he's got a great color scheme. I think the yellow and the blue pair very well. He's very pastel-y. I think there's good contrast between all of the pieces of the design. I think the yellow needs to be brought in somewhere else. So right now, the bottom of the character looks very cohesive. So like below the neck. Like the colors are very cohesive. But I find with the yellow in the hair, there's a little bit of that peachiness, like the kind of warmth that comes through the skin tone, as well as the hair. But it's kind of missing everywhere else. You just get this blue and white and black. But I'm wondering if there's some way you could bring the yellow in elsewhere. What are ways you could do that? You could change the tone of the yellow, so you could maybe use like a tan kind of like khaki color, maybe for the pants or the shoes, or some element on them. Just to bring, because you need to bring like some kind of like yellow or maybe brown item into the coat and then onto the lower half of the character as well. And it could be a small detail. It could be, yeah, changing the pants to like, instead of having them be gray, make them like brown, in a, you know, in a color that stems from this yellow. It could be some little metal bits, like gold metal or something to fit the hair color. It could be stitching or shoelaces or something. You'd have to see what works for the character. But yeah, I think the crescent moon shape needs to be brought in, and I think the yellow needs to be brought in elsewhere on the design. But overall, it's a very strong design, and I think it shows his personality very well. He's a cutie. So that's all I got. Did I miss anyone? I don't think so. I think that was it. So thank you all for joining. Ooh-ah. I'm gonna go. Okay, if you are watching this and you would like your stuff critiqued, you can join our Patreon or become a member here on YouTube. And sign up. There's a tier that gets you into the critique stream. So we do these monthly at the end of every month. Like I said at the start of the stream, we can look at writing, we can look at art, we can look at comic pages, pieces of novels, script pages. We can look at all of it basically. And you just submit and we look at it every month. We also have a one-on-one critique that we can give to people. It's more pricey than the critique stream tier, but if you really want someone to like sit down and look at your art or your comic or your writing and just have like a one-on-one chat with someone, we also offer that. So yeah, let us know if that's what you need. Otherwise, I'm gonna go. Thank you all for joining. Hope you're all doing well. Happy Saturday. Goodbye.